Hey people, it's good to be back again on Flames Talk on Flames TV, and I remain your regular host. At is the Flames on Twitter, at is the Flames on Instagram, and John Flames on Facebook. I am Mr. Flames. We're going to be talking about something very, very interesting. I'll see you after this time out. Peace out. I have three lovely guests. I have Becky Vincent, I have Wakigo, and I have Onyinye. All three are experts in this field. They know the topic, believe me. Some of them are married. And so they're going to be giving us their experience in their marriages and all that, basically. So I'm going to be starting with Becky. Becky, do you think that it's a good thing to leak a phone conversation or even a chat on social media based on the fact that your relationship was no longer working? Do you think it's a bad thing?
Oh, thank you. I think it's two-way. There are situations where it's necessary to keep record of transactions, especially if it's a business transaction. But if it's not a business transaction, I really don't see why, unless there's a motive. So if you have a belief that, okay, this person along the way, something might happen, so I need to keep track of conversations. So you might do that. But if that other person is not aware that you're doing that, it becomes shady because, imagine that you and I were talking and I'm recording you and you're not aware of that. And maybe something happens along the line and I just put it out there on the internet and you're shocked. You as a person, you feel victimized. You feel like a victim. Because now you're scared. You don't know who you're going to be talking to, and if the person is recording you. You won't even be surprised if you meet someone and the person tells you, please drop your phone on the table, or please drop your phone in another room, because the person is now paranoid. Maybe because the last person he or she was with was recording their conversation unknowingly to him or her. So I think it's a violation of one's privacy, especially when it's being put out there on social media. There should be laws to protect individuals against such a thing.
Now, the married ladies, now we are going to you. Starting with Wakigo. You've been married for how long?
Well, I just got married this year.
Wow, congratulations.
How is it been?
Thank you.
How is it
Well,
been?
it's been beautiful, honestly.
Wow.
Though I dated my husband now for over 5 years before we got married.
Wow.
Yes. So in a way, I agree with Becky, but in a way, I still don't, because I'm looking at it like my husband now. We chat on WhatsApp, we chat on other platforms, and then there have been times that we'll just sit down and then he will take me, or he will take my pictures unawares, and then we also have some conversations, because I'm not thinking, I know I love this man and I know he loves me too. So I didn't go into this relationship with something at the back of my mind. I went into this relationship full-hearted, and then all the informations that I have them because we are in a relationship. So like WhatsApp now, your conversations, they are just there. There's no, except if you happen to delete it, or let's say you change your phone. That's when we'll say, okay, this is what happened though. That's why you lost this information. But I have a lot of information about him. So at the end of the day, it still boils down to the kind of relationship that these two people have. And when you're going into a relationship, you have to know the reason why you're going into a relationship. Like Becky mentioned, there is a business relationship. So if you already have a motive, you already have a motive for going into this relationship, then you can say, okay, you can be doing this. But if it is, let's say I have a problem with my husband tomorrow, and then something happened, and then a conversation boils up, or something happens, and then I need to be able to go back to that conversation that we had, so that I'll be able to know, okay, if this was what I said, or if this was what he said, conversation. So it just depends. That's what I believe. I think it depends on the individuals and all. And I also do not think it is a good thing for somebody to take a private relationship, that you have with someone, especially someone that you've been very, very close to. You guys have gone through, when you are in a relationship with another person, it's kind of something that is connected, is deep. You discuss, you do things, things that no one was there, the kind of agreements that you go into. But if after the relationship or something happens while both of you are in the relationship and then you just break up and then you start going into those private moments and start sharing it with strangers online, I think that is something that I do not approve of, because it is not good. You give what's rightfully yours, your space. You start sharing it with people that do not know your journey, people that have never met you, strangers, and then they start giving different opinions, nasty opinions at times about you or about your partner. It just makes things to be worse. And even if it has to be a kind of relationship that you and that person, let's say you just broke up for some time, or you're just trying to find yourselves and you might still want to come back together. Once other people come into it, thousands and millions of people, it might affect both of you coming back together, because whatever once you leak it out there, it's gone. And then, when some people, even if both of you decide to come back together, the things that people have said, that injury, it's just something that you will always feel. And if it happens to be something that some people, once their partner releases their conversation, they might not be aware. Some of them will just wake up with phone calls from loved ones and say, this thing, you and this person, I just saw this one on Instablog, I just saw this on it. It's a kind of trust that is also broken. And they say that trust is like our arm. Once it's broken, it cannot be the same again. So you would never trust that person again. You know that this person does not have a boundary. Anything happens, they will just share it with the world. So basically, these are my opinion about this.
What you said, Wakego, was fantastic. But relationships will not always go the right way. There are some people right now that have stayed in relationship. They've had like 4 to 5 children and they're not married. Because why? They are afraid of divorce, and they know that when divorce comes out, some things might come up and they will lose all the money that they have. But before I go there, I want Onye to speak. How long have you been married?
I got married this year, 6 months. Yeah, 6 months.
Okay, yes. So has there been ever a time that your husband has called you and you've recorded his call?
Since we got married, no. But while we were dating, yes.
Okay, so why did you do that?
Because I'm always with him. Sometimes I get to play it just to listen to it. So at the end of the day, I think it's also the motive. And he knows, at some point he knew, because he would play and see, what's happening? This is my conversation with him. A very close relative of mine that is dead now. When he was on his sick bed and I was checking up on him, he was cracking jokes. I recorded that, and that was something that actually helped most of us heal. So yes, I used to do that. Not anymore now, because we're married, at least. Although I don't see him often because of nature of his job, but at least I'm now closer to him than back then. Yes.
Okay, so what's your own opinion with regards to people that leak phone conversations and all that on social media?
So I think it's an act of immaturity. Because if you're mature enough to deal with your problems, not seeking attention or validation from people who do not even know anything about you, you won't bother to do that.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, you'll be dragged, some will support you, like they will be chatting and supporting you. Next thing, they are eating, playing games, and life goes on for them. Nobody really cares, right? So it's a sign of immaturity. The intention may be to smite the other person, or to spite the other person, or to make the other person look bad. But at the end of the day, it tells a lot. I can't trust anyone that has leaked conversation on social media, even if we're not dating. as a friend, as a relative or anything. It's not necessary, really. But I also understand that there are angles to the recording part, right? It could be for emotional reasons, right? It could be for, well, just I think the most considerable reason will be the emotional reason. Not so that if things go south, I'll get it out and mess it.
Let me paint this scenario to you. There are people that come on social media and accuse so person of rape, and the only way that the person can vindicate his or herself is to release those chats. In this case now, would you say it's a good thing?
I don't think it's necessary, honestly. I mean,
if those chats will vindicate themselves.
I'm telling you, if I've had a friend or I know this person, and then this person comes up and accuses me of something that I didn't do online, I don't have to respond to that person online. I can do it offline. That is, if I know this person, before I would say I would be able to be close to this person to the point that they would come up to lie against me, then we must have had a kind of relationship up to a certain level. And then I need to be able to confront that person or to be able to do things offline without having to necessarily invite people in, because at the end of the day, those people are not going to settle the issue. They won't.
So there's something they call document classification.
Okay.
I will never blame anyone for saying something I said to the person in private, like a secret. I messed up the moment I spoke to the person about it. It depends on the sensitivity of what you're trying to capture. I can do voice notes. I can do normal picture. I am married. I can do normal picture. Voice note, I love you, I miss you, I wish I'm with you, and all that. If tomorrow that goes out, I was married with to him at that point in time. And yes, I can miss my husband, it's nobody's business, but I can't do sex. That's what I want you to actually understand what I'm saying.
It's important for a woman or anybody to have a standard. You know, you have a boundary that you cannot cross.
True.
And so if you find yourself in a relationship with a partner that wants to do some kind of thing that you do not support, even if they are promising you the whole world, you do not have to do that, because that is who you are.
Agodai was saying something that it looks like we're creating a generation of porn stars. Back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, celebrities were people that were seen as role models. They always look at their life like they have to live right because people are watching them. But now, reverse is the case. They don't look up to them as people that, okay, they are doing things right, we should learn from them. You're trying to protect your young 18-year-old daughter from a Tiwa Savage. Yeah. Because the minute she knows a Tiwa Savage, she knows there's a sex tape out there, she wants to see it. An 8-year-old child that loves Tiwa Savage just goes on Google and types Tiwa Savage. The first thing he's seen is a sex tape. It's crazy. It's like, where's accountability? Nobody is saying you shouldn't have fun. But why do you feel the need to record it? Something that is immoral, is a sin in the first place. Let's be honest. We are glorifying stupidity.
That was it. I hope you enjoyed the show. See you guys next time as we continue on this exciting journey. Peace out.